What's up, everyone? I would say welcome back to class, but it's summer. I know it's been a long time since my last video because it's summer, so duh. I've colored my hair since then, so I'm blonde now. Get used to it. I don't really have anything obviously to teach, but I do have some books that I got the other day. So the other day I went to McGee's. I don't know if you have a McGee's in your area if you're not local, but McGee's is like the best place to get used books. And for me as a teacher, I need used books because my students like to steal them and kind of love them very well, aka they get destroyed easily. So I'm always going to try to pick up new books or new copies of the same book that I already have. So I wanted to kind of show you the haul, things that I've gotten from McGee's. I got all of this for about $19. Okay, so that's the biggest win is all of that. First book that I got was All the Bright Places. This is a book, I've not actually read it yet, but I know that it's a series on Hulu or Netflix, one of the two. There's a series based on this book. And I've had a lot of students do it for book talks, and they really love it. So I bought All the Bright Places. Excited to read this one. I also bought P.S. I Still Love You. So this is the second book in the To All the Boys I Live For series. Obviously I had to get the second one. I already have the first one in my classroom library. I've read this. It's been about 6 years since I actually read this book. But obviously if it's on Netflix, I feel like my students are going to want to read it. So I got the sequel, and the price was right too. So I just can't justify buying, new versions of that book at Target because it's so incredibly expensive. The third book, okay, this is my new favorite book to recommend to people, so get excited. This one's called American Royals. It's pretty new. I think it was published at the beginning of 2020, maybe at the end of 2019. It's really new. Anyhow, it's about if America never created a democracy and instead kept the monarchy like the British. And so you have the Washington family and they are royals, and it kind of just goes through their life and expectations and what it would be like to have American monarchy. It kind of reminds me of The Selection, which is one of my all-time favorite series. And I don't know, it just kind of has that twist of what if the world was like this, which I really do love. So I finally got another copy of this because one of my students took one of them home before quarantine, so I'm not sure that I'll get that one back. All right, the next book that I got was House Arrest. This one is pretty people know it. It is a book written verse, and essentially it's about this kid that's on house arrest. So I have not actually read this one either. I have a lot of students that have read it, and I think that we also have copies at my school that we do read quite a bit. So I was excited to find that one. And then I also have this book called The 57 Bus. Now, again, I have not read this, but I've heard a lot of good things about this. I went to a conference back in November of 2019, and one of the speakers that's over Project Lit and was talking a lot about this book, and obviously it must be pretty good because it has some awards on it too. But essentially you have these kids that are on the bus. There's a crime. You get two sides of the story, Sasha and Richard. So I'm really excited to read this one. I've heard it's really good. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh my gosh, okay. You can't judge me for this because there's a reason I got these. Okay. So I have Twilight, New Moon, second one. and then obviously Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. So the reason I got these is, one, they were 99 cents a piece, because I'm pretty sure that they get so many of them at McGee's that they just like make them really cheap so people get rid of them. But the reason I bought them is, one, because my original copies were at school, and again, I lost them. But the second reason is I decided I was going to reread the series because the new book Midnight Sun, which I believe is from Edward's perspective, is coming out soon. And I read these books in high school. They're not even the best pieces of literature out there, like, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about kind of having that, I don't know, just like your childhood reading. And so I was like, I'm gonna read them again before the new book comes out, because I'm gonna read the book whether it's trash or whether it's not. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see. I bought this one for my classroom. I didn't actually get this from McGee's, but I bought this one a couple months ago, right after kind of everything started going on with the Black Lives Matter movement, and I really wanted to like kind of look into this book because I'd heard a lot about it. Essentially, it's kind of a narrative that's written by Jason Reynolds based on Ibram X. Kendi's book that's called Stand from the Beginning. And so this is a young adult version kind of the history of just kind of like race and what it's like in the United States. And it kind of goes from the beginning of our country clear up until where we are now. It's very, very informative, and it's written in a way that I think like is engaging. So like, it's not just like you're reading a history book, it's like you're reading like somebody's take on it, and it's really, I really liked it. So I'm excited to have this in my classroom. And then the last book that I've bought recently that I'm actually in the middle of reading is called Just Mercy. This is the young adult version of the book. It's by Bryan Stevenson. It is a true story. He is a lawyer who fights for justice, especially for people that are on death row. And obviously it's a movie, which is where you have Michael B. Jordan, but the movie was phenomenal. And so I was really inspired by that story, and so I picked up the book to kind of see what it's about. So I'm having actually a book club on this with my teachers, some of my teachers from my school, but it's written in narrative form, kind of takes the story of this one specific case that Bryan Stevenson has worked on. So that is that. And those are the books that I really bought this summer, honestly. I mean, I've been kind of slacking off at reading, but whatever, I'm back. That's all I have for today. Until next time, get outside, read a book, and be nice to each other.